Hey you, let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at this? Now, if you're a sane person, you're probably like, well, Will, that's just a fucking trash can. Wrong! If you're like me and your brain went anywhere along the lines of no, or please no, or please God no, get out of my head, then I'm sorry to inform you that you have fallen victim to what I believe to be a government psyop that utilized this video game to turn the American people against one another that has unintentionally induced mass psychosis. Yes, I am being serious. No, I didn't make up any of those words. I think it needs very little introduction at this point. You know Among Us, I know Among Us, we all know Among Us. You know, we're all very hip, savvy people. Let's move on. Among Us is an interesting game. It plays a lot like Murderer in the Dark or Mafia. Those games we'd play as kids where you'd all sit in a circle and one kid was designated as the killer and they'd have to do something like, I don't know, wink at people to quote-unquote kill them. Anyway, what makes Among Us a little bit different is the employment of a voting system whereby all players can vote out someone they suspect of being the imposter based on who they suspect is being suspect. Or sus, if you will. Red's looking pretty sus, vote him out. Haha, do you get it? It's a reference to the hit 2018 game Among Us. I'm moving backwards at this point. If you paid any attention, you probably noticed that this ridiculous, slightly cute, but also sometimes slightly dull game popped off hard in 2020, which is weird considering what a horrid piece of shit year 2020 was. I guess nothing gets you through the doldrums of a national election, civil unrest, and general anxiety topped off by an unprecedented global pandemic, quite like realizing how cartoonishly untrustworthy your friends and family are. I mean, guys, this game is nearly 3 years old now. Nobody really cared about it until last year when everyone was trying super hard to not think about voting. I couldn't escape it. Every single social media site, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, I'm pretty sure even places like Plato or IMVU were beating us over the head to get out there and vote. Yeah, by the way, want to feel old? IMVU still exists. That's like a relic of the MySpace era. So amid all of this bombardment about voting, along comes Among Us, and good lord, it shot off. You had the memes, the music, all the quotes that stopped being funny after a couple of days. Orange is sus, vote him out. Emergency meeting, I was doing tasks in electrical. You had a bunch of horrible fan art that all stands as an affront to God. Twitch streamers voting against each other constantly. Even New York representative and possessor of large teeth, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez got in on it. All of this, in my not so humble and criminally unsubstantiated opinion, comprises a psyop, basically psychological warfare intended to convince people to continue to have faith in an antiquated, corrupt, and unfair system that doesn't actually have their best interest in mind, while further sowing discord into an already divided people in order to maintain the status quo. I know this all must sound ridiculous, but this is where I finally get to the point. I fully believe that the internet and social media have the potential to be a force for good. But what we're seeing right now with the Among Us memes is the far more common result where people just kind of slowly lose their grasp on reality. Exhibit A, once the election was over, the meme just kind of died for a while. But it's now returned as something that's a little bit, well, goofy's not the right word. It's kind of like if your fun, chill, and unassuming friend goes on vacation to the tropics and comes back broke and addicted to crack. Among Us turned into this bizarre, psychotic version of itself that people started seeing all over the place. But even that feels like I'm not doing it justice. For fuck's sake, an Among Us spaceman was seen tramp-stamped on the back of that stupid boat that almost domed the global economy a couple of weeks ago. Just kidding, it turns out that was fake, but you believed it for a second, didn't you? I don't know, I guess what I'm getting at here is that the internet has done something to people. I don't know what exactly, but for all its positives, it can make you feel like you're going insane. And people need to be aware not only of the media they consume, but also why they think they're consuming it, and remember that media doesn't exist in a vacuum. It doesn't just happen by itself. There are always people on the other side of the screen making the stuff that you play and watch. And as insane as I've probably come off during this video, nothing I've said is meant to make you paranoid. Well, maybe a little, if only because I think it's funny. Among Us is a perfectly okay game. I just can't help thinking it's a little weird, perhaps even a little sus, you might say. How explosively popular it got right as people were trying to avoid thinking about voting during a year where we were universally pretty fed up with things. And now I think it's possible that social media might actually be making people mildly schizophrenic. I know this video is probably not at all what you expected. If your name is Benjamin, you're probably thinking it's nowhere near the caliber of the 2010 cinema-defining masterpiece Inception, but, you know, that's just something we gotta learn to deal with together. Anyway, that's all I got. Have a great summer, you guys. It's been real. Don't be paranoid just because your insane classmates started yelling during finals week. It's okay. Sometimes we're all just little spacemen doing tasks in our ship or whatever. I don't know how to do sign-offs. Okay, bye.